The IBF battle between Hrgovic and Dubois. Should it have gone to the scorecards? All this and more with the incomparable Coach Ronnie Shields.
Proudly presents living legend and elite level trainer Ronnie Shields.
Woo! Thank you, Morgan Freeman. Guys, before we introduce the living legend, here to help me interview the badass head trainer Ronnie Shields. Guys, it's my pleasure to introduce Big James from the Boxing Source. James, how you doing today?
Oh man, we're all good here. I guess starting up another month, June. We got a good number of things here to talk about with Real Boxing with Coach Ronnie Shields.
Boy, do we ever, guys. And if it's Tuesday night, that means only one thing. We're going to be talking to and seeking the counsel of the jet lag version of Mr. Ronnie Shields. Ronnie, how you doing, sir? Welcome home.
Yeah, jet lag.
Oh man.
Boy. Tell you what, if you've never experienced that, Coach, it will tear your ass to pieces. Can you talk about that? How difficult that is for fighters and everyone involved with an event of this nature?
Yeah, but that's why you have to go in advance. You have to go at least a week. I would say between 10 to 14 days you have to go because your body just won't catch up, because when it's time to sleep, you're up. And when it's time to go to bed, you sleep. I mean, when you want to wait, when you're supposed to be up, you're sleeping.
Yeah.
And when you're supposed to be sleeping, you're up.
Yeah.
Oh boy, because I received a couple texts and I'm like, wait a minute, Ronnie, aren't you 9 hours ahead of us?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, and I'm like, well, that would make it about 3 a.m. over there.
Yeah. Couldn't sleep.
Well, I tell you what, I tell you what an event that was, though. Spectacular event. Before we get into the nuts of everything, and this edition of Fact or Fiction, talk about the event in general. How was the production? How was your treatment over there? Talk about your everything leading up to the event, sir.
Everything leading up, it was really good. The only thing about it was that everything started like after 9 p.m. because they're trying to get everything set for the timing in the States, so everybody can watch. So like with press conferences and everything was like it started at 9, 10 o'clock at night. And it was even the weigh-ins was like at 9 o'clock at night. So, so it made for you to have to stay up. You wanted to try to go to get some sleep, but but really my body was on still here,
Yeah.
and it was kind of tough. But you just gotta tough it out. And then after that, we was going to train like at midnight to 1 a.m. because his fight was going to be scheduled for 2 a.m. So
Yeah.
So we had to try to be in the gym around that time, and that was hard.
Oh boy, I tell you what, before we actually James, how did you feel about that mammoth 6 or 7 hour broadcast on Saturday?
Oh my God! Listen, man, I said it at the beginning. I said at the beginning of my podcast. I'm like, you know what, man? Okay, I understand this whole thing with having the Saudis and getting those events and all this type of stuff. But I'm like, come on, y'all. We got to do something about this 6 thing. We like this gotta be chopped down, man. Like we gonna have like a fight, and then it'll be in like another 30 to 45 minutes, and then another fight, and then another 30 to 45. I'm like, come on, man, we can't do this.
Now keep in mind, these were all scheduled 12-round fights, also.
All of them. I'm like, come on.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Ronnie, but is this not the first time you've ever heard James complain about anything?
Oh, without a doubt.
He never complained. So if he's complaining about this, boy, that's something.
Yeah.
I tell you what, honestly, you never hear James's anything getting his goat.
Yeah, listen. Like imagine me as a media member trying to cover something like that. Like, ain't no way. I'm sorry. I said listen. I said August 3rd. I said August 3rd. If they try to do the same stuff on August 3rd, I ain't, man.
Wow. James, what's gotten into you, my friend? I tell you what, let's because it's been a couple weeks since we've gotten to converse with our dear friend Ronnie Shields. So let's just break the ice real quick with our very first. Now, guys, keep in mind, you see the name of the show. Hergovich Dubois should have gone to the scorecards, declares Mr. Ronnie Shields. We will tackle that in just a bit as soon as we get more members in the chat. But right now, guys, it's time for...
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for Fact or Fiction.
Hey, listen, Coach. You know what it's time for? It's time for Fact or Fiction.
Well, I tell you what, my computer is running on impulse power. My word. Number one, Big James, as soon as it comes up, slow as molasses. There it goes.
Here we go. Eddie Hearn did a piss poor job of promoting Filip Hrgovic leading into this past Saturday's fight with Daniel Dubois. Fact or fiction?
You know what? I think this one is both fact and fiction. Because I kind of understand a little bit why. Because Anthony Joshua is his main guy, so he don't want anybody to outshine Anthony Joshua in the least bit. So although Philip was ranked number 1 in the world at that time, so understanding how it works, he don't want nobody to overshadow Anthony Joshua. But
now I don't know if this was off the air or on the air, Coach, but you told me, and I don't remember, so forgive me if I'm saying one of our private conversations, but you told me a month or 2 months ago that you were pissed that Eddie Hearn seemed to be sandbagging Filip Hrgovic.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Not putting him in with the right seasoning, not putting him in with the right opposition to get him prepared for a big fight of this nature. And yeah, it seemed to work out that way, didn't it?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. But it's just the game. It's the way the game has to be played. You have to be ready for anything in this sport. So, it is what it is. You have to be ready. And as a fighter, all fighters think they could beat anybody and everybody, but as a fighter, you have to be prepared and ready to go.
Well, I tell you what, Daniel Dubois, take it on. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, James. My apologies, sir.
Oh, I was saying what Coach Ronnie just said. Like, fighters, think they could beat, anybody and everybody. And, one of the things I kind of like observed there with Filip Hrgovic was like he was, brimming with confidence leading into this fight with Daniel Dubois. And I think that may have been, partially a factor there. in this fight, because there were a lot of times where he was executing very well, but it was like he just didn't, have the I guess the second gear of sorts that says, hey man, you know what? I know this guy doesn't belong in the ring with me. Let me take it up a notch right here, right now, and just, jump on him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that was kind of like what was going on with him. It was like he was too, what I would say, like if I could find the word, he was just like
complacent.
Too complacent. Number one, but also in a sense internally overjoyed that he was able to land the right hands early and very easy, and he thought that it would be a cakewalk from that particular point.
Well, once again, we talk about proper seasoning and proper opposition, proper level of opposition to get you ready. Once again, iron sharpens iron. Yeah. You look at Dubois and is, taking on the tough cruiserweight, then going life or death with that guy, then taking on Alexander Usyk, the best in the heavyweight division at this time, and doing very well for himself. And then going through that war of attrition with big baby fat ass cheater Jarrell Miller. And then, he was ready after those tests. Boy, he was, talk about brimming with confidence going into this. Now, that's a step up from Mark DeMori and Dean McKenna. No offense to those brave gentlemen, because I have respect for anyone who gets in the ring.
Yeah, Dempsey McKee,
But Dempsey McKee, yeah. And so, Ronnie, come on. Now, let's be honest. Was that his management or was that Eddie Hearn?
Well, I think it was not just Eddie Hearn. It was his management also. At the time, Philip had 3 promoters, and they got rid of 2 of them, and now this one was just with Eddie Hearn. So, so leading up, I think you have to blame all 3, not just Eddie Hearn. Because it was Wasserman and I forget the other one, Sarginen.
Yep.
It was Wasserman, Sarginen, and Matchroom. So he had 3. Now he's down to 1. And look, this was an opportunity because they was going back and forth all week on what it was going to be for the IBF title or just for the interim title. So the IBF, they made an exception to Usyk, so he can, Usyk he wrote into them about keeping undisputed until he fight Tyson Fury again in, I think, December. And they came out finally like the day before and said, well, what they'll do is they'll put in, they'll put Filip and Daniel Dubois to fight for the interim, but Usyk would have 45 days to respond to sign to fight whoever wins. So that's the way that's supposed to go. And now they're trying to figure out if Dubois is going to fight Joshua in September, if that's going to be for the IBF or not. So, it's a bunch of politics that goes into these things.
Well, I'll tell you what, to say that actually pisses me off, I can't even imagine how you feel, Ronnie. Oh, boy. Yeah. Because, look, guys. Now we're going to tackle the big, pink, fat Dan Raphael elephant in the room, right? Let's look at the title here, guys. Hrgovic Dubois should have gone to the scorecards. Ronnie, first of all, how did the ref miss that? Because I watched it again, the tape. Both big gashes, especially the one on the left, was caused by a big bulbous head. How could he miss that and declare that was caused by a punch?
Well, the thing about it was we didn't find out until we got ready to go out that we had a British referee. They kind of hid that from us, And when we got in the ring, I went over to him and try to say, hey, Dubois' trunks are high. They're really high. Because our plan was to go to the body. So, and so, but his trunks was really high. And I try to tell him that he waved it off, like, he just waved it off. So, that, and
Jeez.
I can't get upset because I don't want the fighter to get upset.
Of course.
So I just walked back to the corner, and then we went to the middle of the ring, and that was it. And then I went back and I just told him to concentrate on the game plan. So.
And then it says that title once again should have gone to the scorecards. Where the hell are the scorecards? Because usually they post the scorecards immediately following the fight, or at least announce them, what they were at the time of the stoppage. Where are they?
Right.
Did you even get a gander at those?
No, we didn't. The thing about it is, though, I remember after the 5th round, somebody came to the corner and said, hey, they got Filip up 3-2. I said, 3-2? Man, I thought he at least won 4 rounds out of the first 5 rounds, But he didn't have a good 6th round, and then 7th round, that's when they had to stop it. So, but I was like, man, they had it 3-2. I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, man, he clearly won the first 4 rounds in my book. So I don't know, man. It's hard to tell, these days on what's going on, what's really going on. And I would have loved to see the scorecard, but we didn't have time because after we got out of the ring, we went straight to the back, and they, the thing about it is they wanted to stitch him back there, but we wanted a plastic surgeon, not just a general doctor to do it. So the general doctor, they patched him up, and then they sent him to the hospital to get a plastic surgeon to stitch it inside out. So, but the thing about Filip, man, Filip is such a good guy. He didn't complain. He said, look, man, I know I got headbutted, but what can I do? I can't say nothing. I mean, the referee was there. He saw it. He only called one headbutt, and it was crazy. But, it is what it is, man. You have to live with the consequences. And, Filip, he has lawyers, and I don't know if they're going to pursue something or not. I haven't heard anything yet. So I don't know if they're going to try to do that. Go back, take a look at it again, and send it into the IBF. That's all they can possibly do. So we'll see what happens.
Well, a friend of mine, someone in the business, told me that Filip had a press conference or something that stated that he didn't even know if he still wanted to compete professionally any longer. Did you hear that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Very good.
Because I left right after the fight. Because I had a 6 a.m. flight, and by the time I got out of there, it was 4 a.m. So.
Oh my goodness! See.
Yeah. Thomas Schreiber told me he was on your same flight. Thomas Schreiber.
Me and him was on the same flight.
Yeah,
we were. He's a good guy, man. We talked the whole way, and then when we had our layover, we went to the gate together, and and then we had a 13-hour flight from Turkey.
Wow, I tell you what, man. Thomas is going to be on tomorrow night's show at this same time, 7 to 8, 8 to 9 Eastern, 5 to 6 Pacific, and we'll talk all about it as well.
Oh yeah.
But I tell you what, guys, let's say hello to our dear friends in the chat. Our first item up for bid. Woo! Double L. Thank you for supporting the coach on this day. He says, fully agree with Ronnie here. The cuts were, in my opinion, clearly caused by headbutts. How can the referee first declare that it was caused by a head clash and then later when convenient, say it was a punch. Yeah. Guys, there is protest all over this. If they do not give Filip a rematch, yeah, I'm going to be pissed. Like, think about it. This is strike 2 in your book going to Saudi. You talked about the very first rigmarole that was with the gloves, with Everlast, when you fought Zhang in Saudi Arabia. Oh, boy. And there was a lot of controversy about the scorecards and everyone belly aching about that. Was this in your mind, Coach? Was this a bit of a makeup for that?
Oh man, no. I mean, again, when they stopped the fight, I thought Filip was ahead when they stopped the fight. But again, I didn't hear no scorecards or nothing. So, they called up the doctor. The doctor said, "That's it, stop it." So, Filip is a fighter. He's not gonna fuss. Especially when you got
we're
two
gonna do
cuts.
that for him, brother.
Yeah. I mean, it's out of his hands now. It's out of his hands.
Yeah.
And and the thing about it was the cuts was really bad though. I mean,
that one over his left eye was horrendous.
Yeah.
Both of them was terrible, man. The one over the right eye was like from here all the way down.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was terrible, man. And you don't get that from a punch.
No. And Daniel didn't have a mark on him. Shades of Evander Holyfield, my friend. Oh boy. I'll tell you what. And I tell you what, Ronnie, you and Filip are much better sports than I am. Oh gosh. Here to there. Welcome to the show, sir. And thank you for supporting the coach, my friend. And W.A.W also has this to say. He says, boy, Ronnie has good reason to be angry about how that went. People might say Triple D would have won anyway. Well, we don't know what could have happened if the cuts weren't there. Hergovich was doing very well early. Yes, he was. And here's a question. Also, Ronnie, do you feel that Filip was kind of set up to fail from Hearn by not having him active enough with high-level opposition? Yep, we just brought that up. With all due respect, what exactly did Mark DeMori fight accomplish? Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we've already gone through that. We've already gone over that. Let's move on, guys. HLD, welcome to the show, my friend. And yes, we're going to get Ronnie's thoughts because he's been out of the country. We're going to get his thoughts about Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney coming up, my friend. So stay tuned. Thank you, my brother. Also, Tim Nick, Hearn is bad for boxing anyway. He is just Joshua protection, nothing else. You know what? I'm not going to argue with that. Thank you for supporting the coach, Tim. And Double L also says, I'm not going to personally go after Filip for his performance. We saw what happened with Tim Zhu after that big cut on his forehead. That completely changed that fight as well. Now, Ronnie, talk about that because Filip almost seemed to be, he stopped fighting altogether that last round. I didn't see him throw a punch.
Yeah, he could barely see because the blood was just, getting in his eyes. The cut man did as best he could. It's hard when you only have a minute. You really don't have a minute. You have maybe 45 seconds to try to do what he can do to close both cuts, not just one cut, two cuts. And on the first cut, I got inside, and then I told him after that, I said, "Look, man, you got to get inside so you can get to the middle of this thing." And he said, "Yeah," so he did, and he did a great job with it for even going as far as it did. But when the head clashes, man, that's what you expect. That's going to happen. It's going to keep bleeding, and then if you get hit on it, that's going to make it worse. So, so now you're a target, and it's hard. It's hard to fight when you got cuts over both eyes. I know that for sure because that happened for me before. I've been in a fight where I was cut over both eyes, and So it happens. And, as a fighter, it changes everything for you. Now you have to do things to try to protect the eye, and then you're still trying to win the fight. So
Mm.
this is why you saw him started backing up, trying to move a little bit. And that's not his style. You can't, that's not the way he fights, you know. And when you try to change everything, it's not in your favor. That's something you can't, that's something you can't work on in the gym because, you can't say, I'm going to go in, I'm going to get cut, and then this is going to happen. How do I fight if I don't get cut? If I do get cut, how do you do this, Because the other guy's still going to be throwing punches, and you're trying to block them as best you can, and then you're not going to block everything. So, and then still get hit with the head regardless. It just doesn't, it's just not in your favor then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. James, before we lock this up and move on, is there anything that you'd like to ask the coach or anything to add, sir?
Kind of like going off of, the thing that you were talking about with the referee, I know that affected the, overall strategy there, coming into it. But did you kind of like try to tell him in between rounds to at least try it or something like that? Because for me, I would just still try to go for it. Try to mix up the offense.
He did. He tried the best he could. The only problem was when the blood started getting in your eyes, you can't see.
You can't, yeah.
Yep.
And so, so that's why he was trying to move around and try to wipe
Yep.
the blood so he could see. And by the time he do that, the guy's on top of it. So now you gotta try to throw punches. And
then he's got confidence on top of that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So everything changed with the cuts. As you saw earlier, man. Filip was just hitting him with everything. And then,
that 1-2 couldn't miss, Ronnie.
Couldn't miss at all.
Oh, man. Target practice.
And, but that, the cuts changed the fight. So, it is what it is, man. But, you have to fight through adversity. And he tried the best he could. And, when the doctor came up, he said, no, I can't let him go back out there. So the doctor did his job. You can't fault the doctor.
Yeah.
He did what he was supposed to do. Look out for the fighter.
Yep.
But the referee did the bad job because he didn't call what he was supposed to call. And he knew that this was, and like I say, we didn't know anything about the referee until it was time for us to go into the ring.
Oh, boo.
We found out we had a British referee.
Oh, boy, I tell you what. The fix was in, Coach. The fix was in, brother. I'm going to say it. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I don't like to think that about anyone. But this is why I love British fight fans. You know what? At least they're honest. Unlike some Americans, unlike some fans of Deontay Wilder that I know of. But Traveling Boss, welcome to the show. Thank you for supporting the coach on this. He says, I like Ronnie, but honestly, Hrgovic looked like he wasn't interested toward the end. And Dubois was taken over. Hrgovic doesn't have a second gear and tires too quickly. Well, sure could have fooled me in that first fight with Zhang. But anyway, he goes, but as a Brit, I am biased too. You know what? Thank you for admitting that, sir, because a lot of American fight fans aren't as honest. And that's all I'll say. So thank you, Traveling Boss, for supporting the coach. You biased. No, I'm kidding. Minnie Meal, welcome to the show, sir. He says, Coach, is Jermall retired now?
Not that I know of.
No. Well, there it is. There it is. I take that as a big no. So just please keep us updated. We want to hear all about Jermall if he's got something scheduled. And also Double L. Look, we're not going to go into this anymore, but yeah, look at this. Filip fought once, 2022 against Zhang, August of 2022. Waiting for that title opportunity, and in the interim, fights McKeon and Demori, while Dubois fought Usyk and Jarrell Miller. Clearly, higher level opposition and better preparation. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's switch gears right now, guys. Hey, Coach, salute to you. Yes, sir. Thank you for supporting the coach, brother. Yesterday, I saw De La Hoya versus Whitaker fight, and I saw you in the corner of Sweet Pea. Immediately, I thought of War Week Boxing. That's the spirit. Yes, sir. Once again, let's shift gears, guys. Once again, Sweet Pea. I remember he always and that was tough. Talk about making excuses. Coach, but you couldn't blame Sweet Pea. He was obviously the most ferocious competitor you've probably ever trained, wasn't he?
Definitely one of the most ferocious guys. You know, he was probably the most talented fighter I've ever seen in my life.
And that's saying a lot, guys. Jeez.
Yeah.
He was the trainer for 3-time heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield. Yeah, I'll say that's saying quite a bit. But guys, let's hold on. Here it is. Here to there. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. He says, great questions, Joseph. Thank you, sir. Safe to say Dubois was the preferred A side on Saturday. Yeah. He would have thought that he was the IBF interim title holder that night, and he is now. IBF just declared him the mandatory challenger. Funny how that works. Thank you for being here today. We appreciate it, my friend. Oh, Minnie Meal says, I'd pay to see Coach Ronnie versus Dan Raphael in Dubai. You know what? I'd fly all the way over there to see that. But guys, we're running out of time.
Come on, Turkey, let's go.
You know what? Ronnie, you're going down just like this cheeseburger. You're going down.
Roddy, I respect your opinion completely, but Dubois was on the verge of stopping Hrgovic. Yeah, after those cuts. Yeah. All right. Oh, boy. Let me say. All right. One more. Solodolo. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you, brother, for supporting the coach. Ronnie Shields would make Ryan Garcia unbeatable. You know what, brother? I second that. I second that completely. But, guys, we've got a lot of ground to cover. Remember, we haven't conversed with Ronnie in about 2 weeks. So, moving on to number 2, Big James.
Number 2, Deontay Wilder will not retire, but will change head trainers and start with the Ronnie Shields factor fiction.
Oh, which part, Ronnie? Which part?
Both.
Oh,
both parts.
So the Bronze Age is finally over, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to fight anymore, man. Like, he had a great run, man. Anytime you become heavyweight champion of the world, you know, and been in the big fights he's been in, you know, there's nothing left. You know, he don't have to prove anything now. And, you know, hopefully he took care of his money and he, you know, he could just sit back now and be a fan. You know, he's had a great run, man. He's been in big fights, you know, and, you know, but like they say, all good things must come to an end. And for him, I think this was the end.
That's it. That's it. James, do you have anything to ask or to add to that, sir?
Well, in reference to the topic of Deontay Wilder, like of course, I would advise him to retire given what, he has done over this past couple of fights. He just really doesn't have it within him. But according to quote unquote inside information, or so to speak, like he's not quite retiring yet. And that that's really disappointing. Hopefully within the next few weeks or so that he kind of gets the idea that he just doesn't have it. So yeah.
Oh boy. Let me tell you something. Yeah, what do you think of all the chatter saying that Malik Scott is the one responsible for this? Not Deontay. He had a terrible fight. But look, coach, I felt like Emmanuel Stewart when I was watching that fight, and I was doing the live call on this channel on Saturday. Thank you guys for joining us. And I even stated in my best Emmanuel Stewart voice, look at him. He looks like a shot fighter. He's got no legs underneath him. It's only a matter of time before he gets knocked out. Now, Ronnie, do you have that same power? Can you produce that same Alabama slammer power with no legs underneath you?
No, not at all.
Oh, jeez.
No, not at
Yep.
all.
Yep. Oh, boy.
No.
Were you, well, now, when I asked you your prediction for this fight, you were like, oh, no, you almost didn't want to say it, but you knew this, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I kind of knew it. But, but looking at Zane, though, Zane is an old guy. Zane is not a youngster, He's
Mm-hmm.
not. He's an old
41.
guy. And he, he has that punch, though. He has that punch that's going to keep him in fights. And, and I didn't see the fight because, like I say, I was in the back trying to figure out what it was going to take Filip to what hospital. And then I had my bags and trying to go to the airport. So,
Yeah.
so I didn't get to see it.
I mean, yeah, it
here it is. And Ronnie is infamous for actually skating out before the fight card is over just to get to the airport.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I can't blame you, brother. Home is where the heart is. There it is. Minnie Mill says, Ronnie, would you in fact coach Ryan Garcia if he asked you?
I would entertain that. I would entertain that. It was before he went to Derrick James, someone called me and asked me would I be interested in working with him. But before I got to even answer that, he had already made a deal with Derrick James. So
well, he's I think he's one and done with Derrick James, coach. I don't think Derrick James wants to be involved with that circus, regardless of the money that comes with it. And to be honest with you, I don't think I could see you putting up with that at Sugarland either.
Hey, look, listen, I don't see it. I don't see it either. Listen, I'm like envisioning like you would have these cameras or whatever it is, and being in that gym. Oh no, I don't see Coach Ronnie Shields dealing with that. No, he's like,
do you see this smiling? Do you see this great, affable, smiling guy? Yeah, do you see this guy right here smiling in a very jovial mood? That's not the guy you see at Sugarland, Texas, Ryan. Sorry, brother. Oh boy, let's move on. We're lagging behind, guys. My apologies. Let's get to number 3 because we have a lot of ground to cover. Now we'll talk about the yin and the yang. The other side of this is Zhilei Zhang, number 3, Big James.
Oh, yes. Aye, Big Bang. Zhilei Zhang. Will challenge.
Chinese power.
Chinese power. Will challenge Daniel Dubois for his IBF interim title later this year in Beijing, China. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
They're already setting up the table for Anthony Joshua, huh?
Oh, without a doubt. That's already there. Already started negotiating right after the fight.
Oh, of course. The plot thickens. You know what? I'll tell you what, at the very least, I would love to see a rematch with all of the fan controversy and crap like that. I would love to see a rematch between Zhilei Zhang and Filip Hrgovic. Wouldn't you love to see that, Ronnie?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I'd love to see it too. Now, the Big Bang. How far can this guy get? Could he be the Chinese equivalent to George Foreman in this version of the heavyweight division, sir?
Oh, he is. Absolutely. No doubt. He's a big guy. He's nothing small about that guy.
I'm big. Be like George Foreman. I'm big, I'm bad, and I'm back.
Oh, geez. Don't tell me he made a song like Deontay Wilder too back then, did he?
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez. Oh gosh. Look, whatever Deontay decides to do, please don't let it be in music. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna. Come on, Deontay. You've got a lot of gifts, but music isn't one of them, sir. Sorry. I'm sorry to break that to you. Now, maybe he's got a future in mumble rap, but no one wants to see that. No one wants to see that. Chingao. Number 4, Big James. Woo!
Flair, the Flair, woo! Cobb will knock out Adrian Broner, and the problem will still continue fighting into 2025. Factor fiction.
Fiction.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I look. I know this guy Blair. He talks a lot. You know, he has the puppet of Broner. He's really good. I think he's really getting in Broner's head. Though. I really believe that.
I agree.
You know, I think he's going to get Broner out of his game plan, really and truly. Because I think Broner's going to try to knock him out, and Broner's not the biggest puncher in the world, so I don't know if he has the power to knock him out. But you know, sometimes that's all you need is that extra push, and Blair is giving him all the extra push he needs, I believe.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll see what happens because I know his contract is extended well into 2025, regardless of what Adrian Broner says. So, yeah, even if he does get stopped, yeah, he's going to continue fighting because he needs, 1, he needs the money, and 2, yeah, you'll see a rematch, guys. You'll see a rematch. But here it is, and this is quite interesting. Minnie Mills says this, Coach, the reason why I'm asking you this is because Bernard Hopkins actually wanted you to coach Ryan. What say you, sir?
Yeah, that's true. He did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I didn't call no name, but that's who talked to me about it.
Yeah, he let it slip on another podcast. And you know what?
Yeah, he talked to me about it.
I think that would be good. I think that would be good for Ryan. Well, I tell you what, he'd definitely get the hardest sparring of his life.
Yeah, for sure.
I tell you what, an employee of the Mexican phone company, Mr. Taco Bell. Welcome to the show, sir. Whoa, who do you have, Ronnie, between Andrade versus Plant? Is that even a fight? Is that really happening?
I don't know, but I would take Plant in that fight. I would take Plant.
Guys,
I think he's just too good of a boxer.
Yeah, guys. Look. I know Taco Bell. You just stated that Andrade isn't finished, but yeah, he kind of is. Look, he just doesn't have the same legs he did, and I feel really bad because I really like Mr. Andrade and as well as Boo Boo. They're very good people. They just didn't make the right decisions concerning promoters and that sort of thing, management coming up. So that's just a damn shame. But that's, that's the way boxing is. And I'd like to say hello to our dear friend from Sacramento, Chinese Power. Queensberry Bang Mushroom.
Queensberry Bang Mushroom.
Quarter pounder with cheese, the rocks. Dude, I need to stop right there. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little too politically incorrect, but yeah. Oh boy. Let's move on, guys. We have a lot of ground still to cover. We're already 45 minutes in. What number were we on? Are we on number 5 now? Big James?
I thought it was like number 3, wasn't it?
Oh boy. Kind of feels like that, doesn't it? But no, here it is. Number 5. Speak of the she-devil. I mean, yeah, here we go. James.
Trainer Robert Garcia is correct when he states Ryan Garcia is crazy for calling out Virgil Ortiz. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. Why would he be crazy?
Whoa!
He's a fighter, man. This is what fighters do. Fighters want to fight the best. They want to fight the best guys out there. And I don't see a problem with fighters calling out each other. I've never seen that as a problem. What I've seen as a problem is fathers of fighters calling out other fighters for their son, or trainers calling out, other fighters for their fighter. That's a fighter's job. Let them do that.
Bill Haney. Now, Ronnie, before you left, we told you that this was a possibility, that this was going to happen. It looks like it has. That this was indeed a product of supplement contamination. So obviously he did test positive, so he's going to have to serve some kind of suspension. But his attorneys, his legal team, they're lobbying for 4 months. Hold on. I think that's another fact or fiction. That's a perfect segue into this. Hold on. Let me get my cursor to work here. Here it is. We're going to jump all the way to number 8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you got it
to work here. Can you see it?
Yep,
there it is. James, please, the honors.
Ryan Garcia will receive a minor 4-month suspension and be cleared to fight just in time for a rematch with Devin Haney in November in Las Vegas. A fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Devin
Haney don't want no more. He don't want no more of that.
Oh,
He's not going to put his body through that again. He's not. Devin Haney's not going to do that.
Listen to Coach Ronnie already lobbying for that Ryan Garcia job. I love it.
No, Devin
I'm just joshing, Coach Ronnie. I'm just joshing, bro.
He's not going to go through that again. I can't see it because they're not going to be able to agree on a weight. It's just not going to happen.
Now, let me ask you this.
Ryan is going to be better at 147.
Let me ask you, Ronnie. So you would not try to make one of the biggest stars of the sport kill himself to make 40 any longer. You would have him compete at 47.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. When you get a certain age, right? Your body reacts different. And this is from experience. You get a certain age, your body, sometimes you just can't, your body's not going to let you kill it to go back to a certain weight. And I think he's at that position right now. And I think it'd be crazy to even attempt to try to do that because his body is telling him, no, leave it. It ain't going to happen.
Yep.
And, and the crazy thing about it, I see so many fighters that, we've always done it. We've always been a fighter. We've always killed ourselves to make a certain weight. And that's just in us. That's been in us since the very beginning. And people still try to do it, but you're not going to be the same fighter.
Yep. I tell you what, Ronnie, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he just buy a house in San Antonio, Texas?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
You know what? I'm starting to put it together there. Woo! Coach Ronnie training Ryan Garcia. I love it. Wouldn't you love to see it? Tell you what, in my opinion, Ronnie, if you don't get Ryan Garcia, you really need to do something to help Devin Haney. Because Bill, look, he's done a great job managing his son's career up to this point, getting him these huge inflated purses. But he needs a head trainer. Someone who is as experienced and as knowledgeable as someone like you. Now, your thoughts on, Devin Haney moving forward?
Well, look, Devin Haney is a really good fighter. And I think what he should do now is he should try to unify the belts and get all of them. Because there's still, still some good fights out there for him. Look, he's a really good fighter, man. And otherwise, he wouldn't be champion of the world. So, and I just think they ought to just let it go with Ryan Garcia, let it go, and focus on somebody like a Regis Prograis again, or Teofimo is there. You know, Lomachenko is there. You know, I mean, there's so many fights out there that Devin Haney can, fight. And I think those guys are hot right now, Teofimo and Lomachenko. And that should be easy fights to make. So I think he should concentrate on going that route.
Very quickly, Ronnie, who wins in a unification bout between Devin Haney and Isaac Pitbull Cruz?
Man.
Oh, woo! Tell you what,
That's a good one.
up is straight fire, though.
That's fire. That's fire. Absolutely. You know, I mean, I don't know. Oh man. You know, here's the thing. I don't think Isak's as strong as a guy like a Ryan Garcia. So Devin would probably be a lot better in that situation. And Devin could probably be the bigger guy in that fight. So
well, especially the day of the fight. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. I would lean toward Devin in a fight like that.
Tell you what, and because you know that it's like fantasy land for me to even bring up Devin Haney versus Subriel Matias. Come on now.
Now you know I'm picking Matias in that fight.
Oh yeah,
I'm picking Matias with anybody.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he is by far the marauder of 140 pounds. But let's say he fights Teofimo Lopez. That's a big money fight in itself. First of all, though, I think the only one who could afford to pay those inflated purses and those delusional egos, I'd say, would probably have to be Turki Al-Sheikh. Because both guys think that they're the next Floyd Mayweather in terms of money. But let's just say that fight happens. Who do you like, Coach? Oh, wait. We can barely hear you, Coach. We can barely hear you, sir.
No, I like Matias against anybody.
No. I was saying before you adjusted your earpiece, Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney.
Oh, I'm sorry. I like Devin Haney. I do. I like Devin Haney in that fight. I just think Haney's the better boxer.
Well, I tell you what, let's move on then to number 6, Big James.
All right, here we go. Artur Beterbiev will not be ready by October and will be replaced by David Benavidez to face Dimitri Bivol for the WBA Light Heavyweight Championship in Saudi Arabia. Fact or fiction?
Man, that could be a fact, but I don't know. That's a hard one to say because my guy David Morrell is fighting at light heavyweight too. Now he's moving up and he's on that show August 3rd. That's going to be in LA. So maybe they'll see David and say, "Hey, maybe you can go and you can fight Bivol." And I think that'll be a great fight.
So I tell you what, honestly,
I'm pushing for my guy.
I tell you what. Woo! You know what? Oh boy, James. Do you think that's the hottest matchup outside of Beterbiev that you could actually make at 175 at this time?
Yeah, that would be a spicy one. That would definitely be a spicy one.
I love it, guys. And you know what? I actually feel bad for Hot Rod. Now, I know you don't, Coach. But yeah, I'm going to feel bad for Hot Rod on August 3rd. I'll tell you what, speaking of which, let's move on, guys, because we're running behind. Let's go to, let's see. I think I've got an August. Well, no. Let's get, remember we forgot to talk about this with Coach because he's been out of the country.
Yep.
Number 7,
all right.
Big James.
Tyson Fury will defeat Alexander Usyk in a rematch slated for December in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Fact or fiction?
I'm going to say fiction. I think, and the reason I say fiction, I think Fury is going to again lose all that weight. I don't know why he did that or what made it possess him to do something like that. And maybe he think he's faster or something. I don't know. But if it was the big Fury, I would say he has an opportunity. But I don't see it. I still think Usyk is the better fighter.
A bonus factor fiction. Despite the embarrassing showing from Big John Fury, Tyson's father, he's still going to keep him around in the rematch. And you're going to see him in the corner yelling the same stupid crap. We're fighting men. Come on, we're fighting men. Factor fiction.
That's a fact. He's not going anywhere.
Oh,
he's not going to get
come on.
He ain't going to get rid of his dad. Come on, man. His dad brings drama.
Oh, jeez.
You need drama in the corner.
Yeah, a little too much. Yeah, in a Rocky movie, sure.
Of course.
Chingo. Tell you what,
he's not going to get rid of his dad.
No, he's not going to, guys. As much as we'd love to see it, he's not going anywhere, guys. Chingo. No. Chingo. Speaking, though, of August 3rd, Bomac is in this next one. 9, Big James.
Here we go. Coach Bomac is correct when he states that Seabass, Sebastian Fundora, will stop Errol Spence Jr. when they meet in October. Fact or fiction?
I think it's fiction. I don't look. I mean, Fundora is a big, tall guy, but he's not a power puncher. He's not that sit down, gotta, hurt you kind of power. He don't have that. He for a guy as tall as he is, he throws a lot of punches, which is good for him. Not to say that he can't stop Errol, but I don't think so. I don't see him stopping Errol in any way. I just don't see it. I think we just have to see what Errol has left, though, because we don't know. We don't know what Errol is going to bring to 154 pounds. Sometimes when you think it's only because of the weight, it kind of turns out to be something different. So we'll have to see if it's just the weight or if Errol just got old in that one fight with Terrence Crawford.
Well, Ronnie, he's put his body through an awful lot, both voluntarily and involuntarily.
Yeah.
And it catches up to you.
Oh, no doubt.
Oh boy.
No
I'll
doubt.
tell you what, we'll find out. But I'll tell you what, number 11, we're jumping around here. Big James.
All right, here we go. Canelo will face Bud Crawford at 168 pounds as part of Riyadh season 2025. Fact or fiction?
That's a fact. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
The guy in Saudi Arabia, man, he got the money to do it. He has the money to do it. So, and I think he wants that fight. And money talks.
Someone once told me, someone within the business told me recently, said, you know what, Joe, don't worry about the money from Saudi Arabia, because this guy paying to see Canelo and Bud Crawford $100 million, right? Combined both purse. That's like me taking you out to dinner at Morton Steakhouse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure.
That's absurd.
They got the money.
Oh, my gosh.
They do.
Oh, geez.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what. James, you know what? Forgive me for not saying this earlier. Is there anything that you wanted to ask Coach? Because we haven't spoken to him in several weeks. Is there anything you wanted to ask him about that event, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, 2 weeks ago?
Well, in reference to the bout itself, man, I was kind of like having the question: did Usyk win it or did Fury lose it? Because when I looked at it, when I looked at it, I was like, and Joe was talking about it as well. From rounds 4 through 7, it looked like Fury was dominating, and then pretty much around that 8th round was where Usyk got to Fury and was able to bust his nose, and then once that happened, that really changed the trajectory of the fight. So, what did you think about the momentum swing from that point?
Yeah, and I think it came from, again, the Fury losing all that weight, and I think his body wasn't used to it, and I don't think he really realized that Usyk can put pressure, because normally we see Usyk moving around, and then all of a sudden Usyk realized, hey man, I'm behind. I don't know if he realized it or the corner realized it, but somebody told him, you behind. You got to fix it. You got to get out there, and you got to start backing him up. And then, I know referees who would have stopped that fight because of the way Fury was getting hit. And so, I just think that, Fury, I still think, there's got to be a reason why why he lost so much weight. I'm still trying to figure that out. Can't do it. But he's such a better fighter when he's big than when he's small. And Usyk, though, man, you can't take anything from Usyk, because Usyk didn't care. He went for it, and he had it. He had to, and it was a close fight all the way to the end. But I think that that Usyk could have stopped him. I really believe he could have stopped him. And I know some referees who would have stopped that fight.
Oh boy, I tell you what. Minnie Mail says this, Coach. Why is Turkey El Sheik obsessed with seeing Bud Canelo, and why not Canelo versus Benavidez?
Because he got the money to do whatever he wants to. He got the money to see whatever fight he wants to see.
Oh boy. And you know what? Big Sid UK says this, aka Traveling Boss. He says, yeah, I have a close friend who deals with the Saudi royals. These boxing purses are equal to a piece of chewing gum to the average person for them. Oof. Must be nice. Must be nice, Coach Ronnie.
Yeah.
Chingao. But I tell you what, if you had that kind of money, would you be still sweating it out with the boys in the gym?
Oh, hell no. I'll be sweating it out counting my money. Shit.
I love it. I love it. I tell you what, the boxing historian, welcome to the show, sir. He goes, man, that Hergovich fight ruined my parlay. Hey, you know what? Blame that damn referee for not calling it a headbutt, homie. That's all I have to say. It's good to see you, TBH. We'll talk more about this in a little bit. Teach, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for supporting the coach on this day, brother. But James, if you don't, well, hold on. I think we've got one more fact or fiction, and that's going to be it, guys. Because Coach Ronnie's tired. So is yours truly. So is Big James, and we've already been on for 63 minutes. So here's the final fact or fiction, Big James.
Canelo will indeed ditch his IBF title and defend the WBA title against Edgar Hamburgerlunga in September.
Yeah, I think that's a fact. Nobody knows the other. Nobody knows the Cuban kid.
You mean you don't know who William Skull is, Coach?
No, I never heard of him. That's a shame that he's number one and nobody's ever heard of him. And that's just that's part of boxing, man. I mean, but it just seems so funny, right? That all of a sudden now they want to impose mandatories on Canelo. What about all these other guys that was at number one and was the mandatory that never got the shot? But all of a sudden now, this guy comes up and nobody knows who he is, and they're stripping Canelo of his belt. You know, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
understand it.
And such is boxing, coach. Such is
Yep.
boxing. Because once again, well, you know what, guys? I'm tired of complaining today. I've done enough. I've done enough complaining during this episode. Unusual amount for me. James, is there anything that you would like to ask Ronnie before we bid him an excellent evening, sir?
Not that I could come up with at this particular point. Outside of the thing there with the Katzourakis, his that happened on Friday.
Great fight card. Great fight card
against or on that overtime boxing card. So that was the thing that I wanted to bring up there, like how he performed in that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. You know, him and I. He knows I got a fight this week, so and he's going out of town. He's going out of town, so him and I are going to sit down next week, like Monday, and we're going to watch the fight and go over everything. So next Tuesday, I better answer that question for you.
Very good. Very good. I tell you what, your other fighter looked outstanding from Houston, Texas on that card. Woo woo! I tell you what, and Miss Pierce did an excellent job in the corner. Hey, big up for that.
Yeah.
Awesome. I tell you what, though, one thing that we did discover is Andreas, that guy can sell some tickets. Yeah. I thought Athens, Greece, the entire city was there. Like, you even heard kids in the audience screaming for Andreas Katzourakis. That was impressive, guys. A gentleman who's from Athens, Greece, relocates to Houston and outsells all of those guys.
Everybody.
Yep, there it is. There it is. I tell you what, you've got a future star in your hands, Coach Ronnie.
Oh, yeah.
But
no doubt.
We'll get your assessment next Tuesday. I tell you what, though, James, thank you once again, man, for being here. I couldn't do the show without you, brother. Always do a great job. Guys, please go support The Boxing Source and bookmark theboxingsource.net for all of his rumor mill articles that are outstanding. So that's the end of the line, guys. I tell you what, we want to thank all of you for hanging with the coach for this past 67 minutes. Coach Ronnie, your parting shots for our listening audience today, sir.
As always, you can follow me on Instagram at official Ronnie Shields.
Now get some sleep, Coach Ronnie. You deserve it, brother.
No.
And Big James, thank you once again, my friend. Coach Ronnie, we love you, brother. Guys, I'm Joseph Herron. You've been listening to War Week Boxing. Have a great evening, everybody.
Proudly presents living legend and elite level trainer Ronnie Shields.